Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Digital Marketing Lunch and Learn webinar series, aka Wednesday webinars. My name is Christina Davis. I'm your co-president of HSMAI South Florida, and we welcome you to episode 4 of our 4-part digital marketing series, presented and sponsored by the digital marketing experts at Visergy. Whether you're a seasoned hospitality marketer or just starting out, the series has been designed to give you the skills, tools, and insights you need to grow your digital marketing presence and drive real results. I'm excited to learn more about lookers to bookers and driving more purchases, bookings to your direct booking channel. Each session has offered actionable insights and timely strategies focused on the latest trends and technologies shaping our hospitality marketing industry. And before I hand it over to Devin and Mitzi to dive in, this will be recorded and shared after the event. We'll also include in our next blast all links to the past 3 webinars if you haven't been able to join but want to catch up. It's a great way to view our content. As you all know, our industry is complex, and HSMAI is here to connect the dots. And so the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International has been committed to growing business for hotels and their partners in the industry's leading advocate for intelligent, sustainable hotel revenue growth. And this association provides hotel professionals and their partners with the tools, insights, and expertise to fuel sales, inspire marketing, and optimize revenue. HSMAI South Florida alone has over 200 local members, and joining HSMAI is really easy. There's great membership perks like weekly insights from industry experts around the globe, best practices and case studies by top marketers, customer market and business knowledge through programs and publications that are sent directly into your inbox, access to the industry contacts worldwide, and savings on certifications like the HSMAI CHDM, which is a great certification to empower you. There's also online tools, resources, and educational content to support your career, and significant savings across all programs, events, like Commercial Strategies Week that's taking place next month. Also, last year at our annual gala, we awarded 5 students from FIU, FAU, and Lynn University the Dr. Peter Ritchie Scholarship. Each fall, our South Florida chapter raises funds and offers scholarships to deserving students pursuing an undergraduate or graduate degree in hospitality management, tourism, or a related field at a college or university in South Florida. To support the Dr. Peter Ritchie Scholarship and help local students thrive, we ask you to scan this QR code from PayPal, and any donation would be greatly appreciated. And if you're a student joining today's webinar, you can apply by visiting our website at hsmaisouthflorida.org/students. And these are the students we awarded last year: Maria, Victoria, Giuseppe, Joyce, and Kara, all seeking undergraduate degrees and have internships around the Tri-County. And last note before I hand it off to Devin and Mitzi, we are hosting a Marketing in Motion and expert panel, which will be super engaging, have actionable panel. This panel will be made up of digital marketing experts from Visergy, and they'll be sharing their real-world strategies and insights. And it's a great opportunity to ask questions live and in person. And then after the event, we're going to host a 1-hour cocktail reception where you'll receive a drink ticket as well as past hors d'oeuvres at the Intercontinental Miami on Thursday, June 12th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. So if you would like to attend, you can register. We'll share the link directly in the chat for you to click through, read a little bit more about the event, and sign up. So with that said, I'll hand it over to Devin to introduce Mitzi.
Thank you, Christina. My name is Devin Stiles. I am the Senior Director of Corporate Marketing for Visergy. And before I pass it off to Misty, I just wanted to let you all know that we are going to save time at the end for questions. So please submit any questions that you have through the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And without further ado, our Vice President of Client Strategy, Misty Wagner. Misty, you're on mute.
Well, that's not a good start. Thanks for that. Thanks, Devin. Thanks for everything.
Devin's the best of us.
Right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today, spending your lunchtime with us. I'm going to share a little bit about optimizing your booking engine for conversion. Let me share my deck. Can everybody see my deck?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for confirming. All right, so optimizing your booking engine for conversion. As Devin said, my name is Misty Wagner. I'm the Vice President of Client Strategy here at Visergy. Within my area, district client or channel distribution is kind of my original passion. It's where I started in this industry. I've been with Visergy for just over 3 years. Every day I come to work and I'm extremely excited about the amount of talent we have here at Visergy and just the talent that I'm surrounded by every day. I've been in the industry for 25 plus years. I'm going to say plus because I don't want to disclose my age. 15 years booking engine and channel distribution. Within the client services team, I have a distribution team. I'm going to kind of go through what we do on a daily basis to ensure our properties are doing the best that they can to optimize their booking engines for reservation conversion. A little bit about Visergy here. We've been around for 25 plus years. We have clients in 48 states, Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, Europe, and Asia. We have over 1,700 hotels, restaurants, and casinos that make up our customer base. Those hotels are made up of independents, brands, management companies. We are a full service provider. So as you've seen from the previous webinars with Jeremiah, we full website, SEO with Trish. You heard about marketing and paid media from Anna. And just to kind of bring it all together, we're going to talk about distribution. Here at Visergy, we offer all of those services individually, and we can also offer them all together, so that you can have that experience from beginning to end, booking engine all the way through conversion, client reservation. The overview today, we're going to go over booking engine functionality, layout and design customization, targeting conversion, retailing, and channel distribution. We have to touch on channel distribution just because booking engine is part of that. So for booking engine functionality, everybody's booking engine has different functionality, right? Most of the booking engines are mobile first now. They have a mobile first design. You need to make sure if you do groups that you have a booking engine that provides you with group sale functionality, promotions, geo-targeted promotions. For example, if I am a property in Florida and I want to just target residents that are in Florida, I can do a geo-targeted promotion just available to those Florida residents. Room upsell, somebody comes into the system and they want to book a Superior King, but before they check out, they have the opportunity to, let's say, upgrade that to a suite. OTA comparison, this is a pretty big one, kind of goes along with Meta that Anna was going over in our previous webinar. You want to make sure that your rates are in parity. You want to make sure on the booking engine that your rates are equal to, or if you're running a member-only loyalty special, less than what is being provided out there to the OTAs. Urgency triggers might be something that you're interested in, depending on your hotel property. Member-only rates, loyalty rates, retail merchandising, if you're a property that has goods or services that you want them to be able to add during their room purchase, gift cards and vouchers, shopping cart summary, where they can see everything that they've put in that cart in the end before they confirm their reservation. You may want one that has a buy now, pay later option. You want it to be ADA compliant. I know this is a big one, not just for your website, but also for your booking engine. You want to make sure that you're compliant so that your customers are able to see all of your information in a compliant manner. Geocoded promotions, I guess I have that one in there twice. We talked about that. Customizable booking links. So you don't want just a booking link that goes to the main property page. You want to be able to, you may want to be able to, if you run offers, specials, specific room promotions, you want to make sure that you are able to create a booking link that you can link right from that page on your website, whether it be your home page, your offers page, directly to that promotion or room type. Customizable email templates. So with you may want a booking engine that you can customize based on what they booked. Maybe you want to customize based on a confirmation email, a pre-stay email, a post-stay email, a pre-stay asking them to potentially log back in and add additional services before they arrive. We'll go over that a little bit more as we move on. Based on your property, you may need additional languages available and additional currencies. So this is just some of the main touch points for a booking engine that, depending on your property, you want to make sure that you have the right booking engine that has the functionality that you need to convert those lookers to bookers. Booking engine layout and design matters. When you leave that website or when you hit that book now button, you want to make sure that that's a seamless transition from your website to your booking engine. You want to make sure that the design objective is to serve the booking flow. We want there to be consistency so that it looks, fonts, colors, look and feel follows the website for just that consistent experience. You want that layout. The layout should align with the property's direct booking strategy. So what are your booking strategies? And your booking strategies can always change. So based on your promotion, your layout, whichever link is taking them into that booking engine, what is that direct strategy? Is it, of course, the number one is to convert that booking, right? Get that booking confirmed, but is it, length of stay? Who is the person that's actually coming into that booking engine to book that reservation? Design should highlight the property's unique strengths. So like the website, you want that to carry over into the booking engine. You want that look and feel to really focus or highlight on that property's uniqueness. What type of property is that property? What are their strengths? That layout and design should appeal to its targeted audience and market. So who is your market? Are you a resort property? Are you a corporate property? Are you an airport property? Who is shopping for that room? What are they looking for? What amenities are they looking for in that room type and that rate plan? And that layout should create a shopping experience and have a direct impact on conversion. So you're going to get them to that website, but you want to make sure get them to that booking engine. But once you get them there, you want them to stay there and complete that reservation. So design objectives, again, going back to what type of property it is. What type of property are you, and this is just, 3 examples. Are you a boutique property? If you're a boutique property, you want to highlight the uniqueness of that property with its images, with its content. You want to focus on the personalized service, the unique design, the local character of that property or location, and that cultural experience. So you really want them to feel like when they're making their reservation choice, their room choice, their services choice, all of that information is cleanly laid out in front of them, highlighting those areas. If you're an airport property, you really want to draw more attention to that highly competitive rate. You want to highlight the room and the property amenities that suit that airport stay traveler. Do they offer airport transfer? If you are staying at that airport because you're outside the destination of your departure airport, you live outside the city center, you're staying there for the night, does that property offer on-property parking and shuttle to the airport, for example? Make sure that those amenities are really laid out, those services are really laid out. And then the OTA price comparison tool, I always say, is like essential for an airport property because you're up against, other properties in the OTAs for booking that. It could be last minute, it could be planned ahead, but you're really focused on price and the few amenities that you're looking for from that airport property. A spa resort, that's where you really want to promote those packages that combine luxury experiences and services with your room stay. Rich amenity and service content, additional add-ons and package items. So, these are 3 totally different types of properties. Other properties could be a casino-based property, a wild wildlife retreat property. So you really want to make sure that your design in that booking engine not only follows your website, but once they're there, that's where you're going to capture that guest and turn that looker into a booker. You want to look at the layout structure default. So these are just some examples. As you can see from the screen, these screenshots, there is always the drop down where you can change, right? Change your view. You can view by room, you can view by rate, but you want to make sure that you're setting your defaults that are according to your property. So by room is most popular generally. Some booking engines only allow you to do it by room, but you want to make sure that, this is really popular for hotels with fewer rooms, for example, or some pretty standardized rooms. By rate is when you're going to go like you're really rate forward. So it's a good fit for properties that are offering several package rates to show what is included in each rate. So just as an example here, you've got, a best available rate versus a suite retreat. When you click on those rate details, it's going to take you to what exactly is included in those. And then you're going to see your room types. You can hit view more to see more room types as you scroll down. You can also set the default to show how many room types or how many rate plans you want to see before actually hitting the view all. And then there's by category. This is most popular when you have specific attributes, like if your room types are, you have standard room types and suite. So that's an example here. You can click on standard and you can scroll down and see all of the standard room types, or you can click on suite and you can see all the suite. Again, you could do it by, ocean or pool view, garden view. You could do it by building, where you say you're a large property where you've got the main resort, you have a guest house or guest houses, cottages, cabins. You can split those categories out across here. Again, you can always change the default sort if you're a guest booker, but you want to make sure your initial default fits your property types, fits the customer that's coming to your booking engine to book that room or book that cottage or book that guest house. So you want to make sure that your defaults are set accurately. And again, as they're booking, they can change the defaults. Layout objectives. Okay, the goal is to create a shopping experience relevant to the shoppers. So I always lean on, you don't want to overcomplicate the screen with functionality, but at the same time, you want it to be super clean. You want them to be able to look at that specific room type or room types and see exactly what's included. So using amenity icons such as, free Wi-Fi, air conditioning, could be pets accepted. Using those icons immediately lets them see what amenities are included in that room without having to go completely off into clicking into the room details to get that information. So you want to make sure you take advantage of that. Policy icons. They want to be able to see the difference in the rate plans here. Is a deposit required? Is it free cancellation up to a certain amount of days to compare the rate? So here you see, the member exclusive rate is lower, but you have up to 3 days before arrival to cancel it, where your best flexible rate is higher, but you can cancel within 2 days before arrival or 24 hours within arrival. So you want to make sure that you can easily see those policies, those amenities cleanly when they're looking at it. They're not having to search for them. Also, you want to make sure that you've got your bed type. Even though they can see it in the image, you want bed type, you want the occupancy, square footage. Square footage is super important depending on your location, right? If you're, in the heart of London or New York, room size can really matter. And then once you're in here, they can click into room details. They can click more into rate plan details to get more information. But initially, they're looking for a room that accommodates their amenity needs, their occupants, the bed type that they want, and the rate that they want. So rate strategy and rate transparency are also super important. You want to lay your rates out. This, for example, is 2 different rate plans. I always say list up to 3. If you have more than 3 available during whatever the search criteria dates are, you can generally with the booking engine then click to view more. If you have 5, 6, 7, 8 rate plans, I think you're just confusing the customer. So you need to really know who it is that's coming to your hotel to book. Who are your shoppers? What do you want to put in front of them? Depending on the dates that are available, it could be a last minute offer because you're trying to fill last minute room inventory. You might want that at the top or right under your book direct and save or your loyalty member rate. But you want to be able to I always lean into, depending on your property, that best available rate or best flexible rate should come up in that first 3 so that you can look at that most non-restrictive rate. And even though it's more, the restrictions may be a better fit for you. But if you're flexible and you're a last minute shopper or a last minute stayer, or you're looking to stay longer, the stay and save rate or a last minute deal might be a better fit for you. So you want to create a shopping experience. You shouldn't really go into a booking engine and see one rate per room if you're creating a shopping experience. Everybody knows that when you shop, you want to go, you want to look, you want to find the best fit for you. But when you throw 5, 6, 7, 8 options right away at them, that's almost overwhelming. So look at the 3 that are probably the best fit. And the best fit, as you're setting your restrictions, really comes down to, the search dates. Is it like right now, if this was for, September, October, November, a last minute rate would come up, but a advanced purchase rate would come up, but not a last minute. If I were booking, for example, June 1st, maybe a last minute, May 29th, a last minute rate would come up, but you wouldn't see an advanced purchase rate. Stay and save, depending on the dates that they're looking at. With the stay and save, if you set it up as a 3 or more night and a 4 or a 5 or more night, you'll be able to see the difference in, if I reduce my stay, my savings is only this much, but based on my length of stay of 5 nights, I'm going to get 25% off of that. I also like the slash through pricing so that you can see what that is derived off of your best available or best flexible rate, what that savings looks like. See the original rate, then broken down with what the discounted rate is. So your rate strategy and rate transparency are super important. Any sort of, this rate right here should, as we know now, include all your taxes and fees based on the new government guidelines. Rate strategy and rate transparency. Obviously, once they get there and they find the room that they want, they're looking at the rate. Urgency triggers. Urgency triggers, they can be set in different ways within many different booking engines. So this one is set, as you can see, like 5 people have booked in the last 24 hours. You can set that to be within the last 5 hours. You can set that to be the last 48 hours. You can have that drop off be 3 people, 5 people, 10 people. So you can set those parameters within your booking engine. There's also other parameters, and we'll look at those I think in the next 2 slides, where you can set, 1 room left, 2 rooms left, those types of urgencies triggers. And those can also, in most booking engines, be set, in that booking engine tool, that restriction, to determine how you want that to pull. And then images. Images are one of the most important things. If your images are not there or not good, it just does not give them a visual of where they're going to stay. I always say consider at least 3 high quality images versus just 1. And that should really include, it can be, 1 or 2 pictures of the room from different angles. It could be of the view from the room. It could be, I always say, and it can include an amenity and definitely bathroom images. A bathroom image is super important. Are there 2 sinks? Is there 1? Is it a shower only? Even though you may have that broken down, like here it says separate shower under the icons, but if you weren't using that icon and you wanted to, you'd want them to see, if they're with children, is that a bath shower? Is that just a shower? In accessible rooms, it's super important as well. There should always be, I always say, you always have images of the room as well as the bathroom. Vary those images for similar room types. So if you have a superior king and a standard king, what is the difference? There should be a difference in the image because if you want to sell that superior room at a higher rate, what am I getting in that superior room that I'm not getting in the standard? Is it a higher floor? Is it a bigger room? Is the bathroom bigger? Does it have a balcony? Like, what is making that room a superior versus a standard? Filter options. Again, I was talking about these filter options where you can change your view, but also when you click into filter, you should be able to choose all rooms that have, if you specifically need a tub, that have a tub, that specifically have a desk, a couch, a pull-out. You should be able to filter those. So make sure your filters are set correctly so that you are able to, your potential guest is able to quickly make a decision if they're only looking for a specific room with a specific amenity or feature or bed type. And pets, for example, sometimes rooms are accepted in some rooms, but not all. That has become a higher searchable qualifier. So then kind of moving into urgency triggers and pop-ups, like it can be so overwhelming. So I think they're good, but I don't think they should all be turned on. So here's an example of, you may be on there trying to make your choice about what type of room you want. The stay more, save more might pop up. You might only be searching for 2 or 3 nights, but you're seeing that if you change your search to 4 nights, it's up to 20% off. So you might be more flexible about that. This is the OTA price comparison tool. That is, I think, a great pop-up or add-on to have, but you have to make sure your rates are in parity or your direct rate is lower than your OTA rates. You don't want this to pop up and show your direct rate is $811 and your Booking.com and Expedia are offering it for $753. That would, just make the customer go book that directly on the OTA. Upgrades are great pop-ups. These can be set by room type. They can be set by property. They can be set by chain. For instance, by chain, you might want to always have the pop-up come up to gather information from the customer for future marketing material. And then going back to those urgency triggers, here's an example of only 1 room left. So that's the last of that room. So if you're, back and forth about that one or another one, and that's the one you really want, you should book that room. But again, I think on the booking engine, the pop-ups and urgency triggers, they have to fit the property type so that they're not just annoyances. They need to serve a purpose. They need to be a call to action. And retailing. If you are a property that has services, goods, amenities that you want them to be able to add on to that room value, you want to make sure that your booking engine has retailing functionality. So you're shopping for your room. You figured out which one fits your family needs. You've booked that room, but you want to, as you're booking it, arrange for an early check-in, maybe some snacks in the room based on the time that you're coming into town. Pre-stay, you can, some booking engines have the functionality where you can then also go back in pre-stay and add. So you can add activities, services like massages, tours, tickets to museums before. So you've made your reservation, but now you want to go in and you've decided you want to add some activities, add some of those services. This is really important if you're a property that is a resort type property with any sort of spa service, a golf property, a ski property. And then while you're during your stay, if you want to go ahead and then add to that reservation, you can keep adding to it. Some booking engines have this functionality, some don't. Where you want to be able to go in there, you book those activities, but you were going to wait to book your transfers. You decide you want to book your transfers. You can do that still while you're there. You can do it directly on your reservation. This eliminates and alleviates a lot of stress on the front desk. When the client can just go back in, the guest can just go back in and add these additional services and amenities as they're staying at the hotel. And then post-stay, after you've stayed at the hotel, you had such a great time. You might want some merchandise, some branded merchandise. You might want a t-shirt. You might want, that great big coffee mug that was in your room or a robe. Sometimes, if you're a beach resort, some of the, very large beach blanket towels. Being able to go ahead and purchase those after your stay. Again, some booking engines have this functionality, some don't. So depending on the type of property that you have, you want to make sure that you're picking a booking engine that has all that functionality that you need. If the functionality can exist and you don't have to use all of it. But a really good example of this is if I'm a property and I'm shopping, or somebody's already booked, they've already arranged, for what they want in their room at check-in, they early check-in, late check-out. They have, they get their pre-stay email. So when I talked about those templates being customized, you get your confirmation email, then you get your pre-stay. Your pre-stay can link you back to your reservation, and it can show you, and you can even put in your pre-stay email, don't forget to book a massage. Don't forget to, sign your children up for the kids club. So you're able to send out those triggers to say, hey, do you want to add this stuff to your stay, pre-stay, while they're actually at the hotel? Again, there could be an email trigger that said, I hope your check-in was great. Is there anything else that we can do for you? Click here to book your transportation, make your dinner reservations. And then again, post-stay, an email can go out post-stay to say, hey, we loved having you, hope to have you again, and provide the opportunity to buy any goods or services or book a room or a gift card. It was a great experience. You want to treat somebody else to that same experience that you had. So the retailing really adds that additional personalization throughout that guest journey. So, if you're a property that has any sort of services, merchandise, goods, this is definitely, functionality that you would want in the booking engine that you choose. Going back into retailing a little bit more, here's just some items that you might not think you're a property that would utilize this functionality, but you actually probably are. If you have early check-in, late check-out availability, pet policy, your pet policy requires an additional $25, $30 a day. You would want them to be able to add that to their cart. Attributes like floor, view, balcony, if they wanted to add that or upgrade. Services and add-ons such as breakfast, meals to go, reservations, champagne, wine, snacks, transportation, parking, cabanas, anything that is an additional service or amenity that you have at the property. And then goods such as, branded merchandise, it could be soft goods. Those are, obviously things that can be available pre, post, and during your stay. And then experiences. Let them book those spa services at the property through you. Come in and book a spa service, a cabana. You might want tickets to a show that can be purchased through the property. It might be some sort of adventure. This one shows like a nature tour. Full breakfast. You could, check in early, do the coffee tasting, stay the night, do the nature tour the next morning. You could maybe add breakfast to go here or book a full breakfast ahead of time, and then also guarantee your late checkout. Okay, so personalization throughout the guest journey with this retailing, unique and seamless experience. So some booking engines have the functionality where you can add those items, those retailing items, as room add-ons, and then some also have them available as standalones. So meaning you can go into that booking engine and you can book just items that are not connected to a room completely. You didn't even have to book a room. It could be that somebody else is booking a room, or you just want something from the property. Product availability by date, occupancy, and inventory. So for a property, you've booked the room, it's available, but you want to book, let's say, tickets to something. When you put in the dates, it's only going to bring back those retailing options that are available to you. So are tickets available for the dates that you put in? They will only come up if they are. Is it something that's only available for a certain age, like a wine tasting? You can definitely have them input their age. So if you look over at the example, I know it's a little blurry. I just realized that. You can see this one is for a nature 2-hour tour and then feed the camels. So they are choosing the 2-hour. That drop down could be a 4-hour, an 8-hour. There could be different options other than to feed the camels. There could be other options along the way. There could be add-ons. You can pick your date. You can pick your time that's available. And again, if that time's, all filled up, it won't come as an option. They'll have to pick a time that is, and then the number of occupants. So you can add all of that to your cart. The property knows ahead of time, all of the information that they need. You can also do it based on attributes like if it's, a robe, a t-shirt, you can do size, you can do color. Obviously size, color, the number that you want. You can also, it's intuitive to where some are intuitive to where you have a guest experience personalization built in recommendations. So for example, if you picked the tour after you book it, it then can prompt you, do you want to add transportation? Do you want to add a to-go meal or a snack offer? If you picked a late checkout, it could say, do you want breakfast and room? Do you want, a meal to go? So you can set it up to be intuitive too, so that it will only it'll give you additional options based on what your initial choice is. And again, some booking engines have this functionality, some don't. So you want to make sure that you are, moving forward with a booking engine that you can customize specifically for your property. You want to make sure that you can, secure that revenue as much as you can ahead of time, and then hopefully grab some of that revenue post-stay. So we talked about booking engine. Booking engine is a huge part of channel distribution. So I just want to touch on, what other areas of channel distribution are important. So obviously booking engine customization is extremely important, right? You want it to be that seamless environment. You want it to be appealing to your guest. You want it to be a smooth booking flow process. You want to convert that booking. You want to make sure that you're providing rich images, concise content. Your rate structure is based on your consumer preference. Your product icons highlight your key amenities. You want to make sure you're ADA compliant. So booking engine is only one piece of channel distribution, but it's an extremely important one. And we find it to be like one of the most important channels here at VisitG, just because, we have website, everything that we do on the website and everything we do for marketing and for SEO is to eventually secure that reservation. So, we really lean in at the customization of a booking engine here at VisitG, but also we are very focused on complete channel distribution. So yes, you want to have, a beautiful booking engine that's converting, but you also want to make sure you have the right channel mix for your market share. So depending on where your property is and what your market share is, you want to make sure that you have, your booking engine, OTAs that are the right fit for your property. We all know booking.com, we all know expedia.com, but are you in an area market where Agoda, Get-A-Rooms, Airbnb, are you the right property type? Are you in the right area market for that? We want to make sure that our properties have that right channel mix. If you're, a corporate hotel and a leisure destination in a large city, you're going to want to make sure you're on a GDS. You're going to want to make sure that you can capture that corporate marketing market share in your, in your area market. So we really focus on, do you have the right channel mix? Are you on all the channels that you should be? Are you on channels that are not converting, and why are they not converting? Should we remove one of those channels and focus on something else? OTAs is a really good example of that. Our CRS connects to over 650 OTAs, but you only want to connect to the ones that are really going to show you that ROI or return, because we all know those OTAs connections go out to third, fourth, fifth parties. So we want to make sure that, all of your work is reaping your reward. So finding that right channel mix. So, based on your location, are you right for the GDS? What OTA should you be on? And then, of course, super important, your booking engine. We want to convert as much direct as possible. The direct bookings to your hotel are the most important and critical because those are guests they're your guests. You own that information. You're not paying a high commission on those. Those are where you can retarget market for repeat guests, get them to sign up for loyalty. That's where you really want, that's where we're really focused, but you want to have the right channel mix. As far as channel mix goes too, if you're like me, I'm going to book a property, let's say in Dallas, Texas. I know the location I want to be in, but I don't really know what properties are there. So it can be really hard to find the right property, right? To find the right property, right website. So yes, so much goes into that with paid media, but also you've got these OTAs out there that market. So I will sometimes go on to an OTA. I will, go down and drill down to the specific area that I want to look at. I'll kind of narrow down those properties based on location, property type, amenities, services, and then I will more than likely 99% of the time go to one or two of those specific hotels' websites to get more information, to book direct, to see what the book direct offers look like. So again, being on an OTA is extremely important, and making sure that your rates are in parity. You want to make sure that those rates on your website are equal to that OTA, or if you're running any sort of loyalty program, book direct member rate, you want to make sure that that rate is equal to or less than. It could be equal to and have a special offer, late checkout, early check-in, free parking, whatever might entice that guest to book with you directly. OTAs are very necessary. They, a good percentage, depending on where your hotel is and what their market mix is, they definitely feed reservations to your property. So you want to make sure that on those OTAs, your rates are right, your policies are right, you're standing out on that OTA against your competitors. You want to make sure that everything that interfaces from that CRS to the OTA is seamless. It's, a real time. So again, all of your channels, the right channel mix for your property. You want to make sure that there's rate parity. All of the information is optimized on all of those channels. So you need to have a rate strategy, you need to have rate parity, and you need to optimize those channels. So, that's probably one thing that here at Visergy on the distribution team, if I ask the team every day, what are they focused on with their customers? What do they talk about during those client reviews? They talk about performance. They talk, production and performance. Where are we performing? Where are we not? Why are we not? Is it because, we need to optimize that channel and make sure everything's updated? The images are up to date, whether it's a GDS, the rate plans are up to date. Against all those channels, you want to make sure that your visibility is reaching out as far as it possibly can on all those channels. You look competitive. All of the information is clean and it is there. And then they're constantly focused, like I said, on that booking engine, making sure that booking engine is optimized, that they're using all of the functionality that is a fit for that property, and that they're going to be able to, get that looker to become a booker. So in summary, provide for a booking engine, provide a relevant layout based on your audience. Choose your default layout and your filter options very carefully. You don't want them to have to spend time searching for something on your booking engine. You want to make sure that that information is easy to get to. It's laid out easily. It's concise. It's visually pleasing. You want to use high quality images. If you've ever gone into a booking engine and you click on the image to look through the others and they're different sizes, or they're blurred, or there's just one, and the images, room type to room type, don't vary. They're the same. It's really hard to make a selection. You want to make that as easy as you can. I mean, and a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? You just want to make sure that your property images are high quality, rich images. Your content is king. So don't put too much content into that booking engine. You can keep adding content into those layers where you click through, more room information, more rate information. But on that initial page, what content is the most important for them to see without getting overwhelmed? You want to maintain pricing transparency. You want to see that daily rate as well as that total price. When they go to their cart summary, you want to make sure that they can see exactly what they've purchased, what those items cost, if there are any additional services and fees before they confirm that reservation. So you want it to be a personalized journey all the way through. All right, so I hope everyone is still there and awake. Any questions, Devin?
Not yet, but if you have any questions for Misty about this topic, please feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we're happy to take those now. And then don't forget to check the chat for the link to the upcoming marketing event that we'll be having at the Intercontinental in Miami. Jeremiah Matthews, Trish Layton, and Anna Ajlani will all be on a panel discussing the topics that their webinars were for the previous weeks. All right, we've got our first question. So how do you know what is the best channel mix for your property?
Okay, so it depends on your area market. So if you are a property that is, let's say, in a leisure location like Orlando, you're a good fit for several OTAs. You're a good fit. Everybody's a good fit for booking engine. You should always have a booking engine and a website. And you're also a good fit for GDS. The GDS, for those of you that don't know, are where travel agents actually can find your property, book your property, and they can bundle your property with air, car, other tours. So for a city like that, those would be all of your channels. As far as which OTA channels, my team will go and look. They'll pool an area market to determine through various insight reports, like who's booking which OTA. So if you're a property in Orlando, Airbnb might be a right fit for you. But Get a Room might not be a right fit for you. So they can take a look at what that area market looks like and help guide you through which area market is the best for your hotel. If you're on an OTA today and that OTA is not returning any reservations, it's probably not in your area market. But if you're in a hotel, if your property is, let's say, in a small town in Nebraska, that's where I live, you might not be a good fit for a GDS. If you are in the Omaha area, based on activities here, Berkshire Hathaway Days, College World Series, you're going to want to reach those international markets on a GDS. But if you're in a smaller town in central Nebraska, you're not going to be booked through a GDS. So you would focus more on OTAs and your booking engine for sporting events or what might be coming into those corporate events, what might be coming into those areas.
Great, thank you. And that's all we've gotten so far. So if anybody else has any questions, please just go ahead and let us know. And if not, Misty's email is on that last slide, and I'm sure she'd be happy to take your questions privately via email. So we'll give it just a couple more minutes and maybe we can all get a few minutes back in our day.
I know I probably put everybody to sleep. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, not only about booking engine optimization, but just about the various distribution channels, there's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer questions, do a demo. So feel free.
All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. And if you missed any of the webinars, please check out the Visergy YouTube channel as we're getting all of them posted. And hopefully we will see you in June at the Intercontinental. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.